Gather around, everyone. Anthony is doing a sketchbook tour.
All right, so this is going to be super fun. Today we are going to do a sketchbook tour from a sketchbook that I wrapped up at some point last year. I draw almost every single day in a super awesome sketchbook, and this is going to be a mix of just random doodles, lessons that I've taught, things from my live streams over at Twitch. It's a potpourri. It's a mess. Frankly, it's a mess. So let's jump into this thing. Okay, so page one. So this came from a Wednesday workshop that I hosted, just all about composition. And so one of the things that I teach and I talk about constantly is just some easy compositional techniques to make your illustrations better. Here I must have been teaching the rule of thirds, where we have impact areas in these quadrants right here. We can definitely talk about the rule of thirds all day long, but I'm not going to do that. But when I'm sketching, I like to sketch with a pen. I just like to get in, get messy, just make some stuff and not really worry about how things are going to look. I also love to draw environments. I love to draw trees and nature and stuff like that. Just all of the organic shapes just really work for me. It's funny though, on this day, I don't know what I was doing just drawing so tiny. Normally I draw much bigger or just cram more stuff onto a page. But clearly I was trying to find a focal point and trying to talk a little bit about staging with foreground, middle ground, and background. So here we've got our foreground, here we have our middle ground, and way back there we got our background. So yeah, these would have been different reference photos that I found online. It's funny as I look at this little spot right here, it kind of looks like a strange face. Okay, well, we should just move on from that. Okay, so this is another page where I was talking about just building an interesting composition and trying to find focal point. So one of my focal points is going to be sort of down through here, and another is going to be this window back through here. Also, drawing these things, these houses quickly, kind of forces me to just get maybe a little bit more dynamic than the reference photo started out to be. I don't know if this looks good or not, but it was fun to draw. This was really fun. So this came from a website called sketchfab.com. It's a really great online resource and a place actually you can buy 3D models. But my favorite thing is to go in and find models because you can rotate them in three-dimensional space and you can draw the same subject matter from a bunch of different areas. That's what I did on this one. So it was just a neat thing. I think we timed these for maybe 5 minutes a piece, maybe a little bit less than that. And it's just simply taking a model and just rotating it and just drawing what you see. Next up, this probably would have been some warm-up stuff, just me trying to connect pen to paper, just seeing if there was anything that I can make. I went through a phase where I was drawing rocks that just looked like whales. I don't know, it's just how it goes. This would have been from another Wednesday workshop talking more about composition. And I really had a lot of fun. I just remember having a lot of fun on these little sketches here, because again, we have that some of that fun compositional stuff: foreground, middle ground, background. You see a lot of that back through this. This is interesting though, just sort of this idea of all of this creeping stuff on this kiddo or this person who was sitting on top of this toadstool. This was a lesson in framing. So taking something that is framed in a square like this and just making it the subject matter, and then taking and moving it over to a big rectangle and then framing this thing much lower in the composition so we could play with these clouds and make much more drama, completely changes the idea and nature of what a piece could be by simply framing it in a different spot on the composition. Just more of the same, just trying to figure out how to frame stuff up and make it look cool. I know that this is a mess, but one of the things that I don't ever worry about is, especially in a sketchbook, is just drawing over another thing. I don't need my sketchbooks to be pretty. Sometimes they are, which is kind of fun. But here I just wanted to make a bunch of shapes and organic stuff and play with a brush and then just see what I could make. Okay, so this came from a Wednesday workshop. This is probably kicking off a session where I was drawing skulls. I really love to teach foundationally how we start with the human skull before we put on skin and features and hair and stuff like that. The best lesson that I ever gave myself years and years and years ago was learning to draw the human skull realistically, so then I could draw the human skull very cartoon-like, but then I could figure out how all of the features sat on top of that skull to be able to be a really much better cartoonist. So this would have been me kicking that lesson off effectively. This one was kind of fun. So this is a page of sketches from my pal, the nice lady over there who streams over on Twitch. Jess is a super good oil painter, portraitist. Is that the right word? Let's go with it. And she and I did a live stream together where we were drawing each other. These were all of the different versions that I drew of her. And here I made her a demon. And here I just made sure that she had the biggest teeth of all time. And obviously I made her a cyclops. It gets worse as we get going because I turned her into a lady Shrek, and then I turned her into a snail. She didn't deserve any of it, but actually, frankly, she did deserve all of it. This is an egg with a sword. Notice all of the open white space right there. I kind of wasted some potential. Again, on Wednesdays, I tend to teach elements of character design, art illustration, whatever it's going to be. I am not a photorealistic illustrator, and I don't ever truly want to be. But I do want to know, like, where are all the things placed? Because we don't want to get stuck in the uncanny valley of making our art look just extra weird. I think this was a a Freaky Friday with my friend Lee White over on svslearn.com, where we were drawing animals. Clearly, I went into samurai mode. You can also tell which ones I started with first. This one, because they just feel so tight. I feel like as I got towards the end, I started to get much more comfortable with everything. And especially playing and goofing around with the poses. So I have this character named Gil, and I have this character named the Ignorant Duck, and then Gil has a cat named Pickles. I kind of like the idea that the Ignorant Duck is just mindless almost 100% of the time, unless it has something to do with Pickles the cat. So this was a joke where the Ignorant Duck was going to do something horrible to the cat. You can't really tell it on the page, but that's just what it was. More Wednesday workshop stuff, just doing a lot of figure drawing. I think drawing figures, either if they're going to be cartoony or more human-based, so less cartoony, obviously, I think is just so foundational to be able to go back and forth and just draw just about anything. This right here, again, more of the same, but I'm really teaching and showing just how the body is moving towards the camera or perhaps away from the camera. So you'll notice right here with these cylinders, this leg is moving towards the camera, and then this leg, this portion of the lower part of the leg, is moving away from the camera. Excuse me. So here we have the fulcrum point, and you can tell as these little circles are moving towards us, you can tell that this is the open right here, and then as they're moving away, that this is the close. This is something that I refer to constantly. 3 chaotic draw along prompt cards. We have Tiny, Ogre, and Berserk. So we have descriptor, subject, and then we have the chaotic card. This is frankly a little bit of a mess. I don't feel like I came to a great conclusion on this page. Here we've just got studies from Pinterest. Sometimes I think it's really fun to go on Pinterest, especially in my character design folder that I've been accumulating for 50 years, and I just grab a bunch of images and I draw them. It just is a really fun exercise to get into the head of another creative and draw their character. And then what comes out of it is either a new shape, a new line, a new texture. And so these were really fun studies to do. These were images that I found for a Wednesday workshop to teach drawing portraits, but also exaggerating portraits. Here, I wanted this to be so saggy and gross and weird. And then I had this reference photo of this guy, and he just reminded me of like a, I don't know the right term, but he kind of reminded me of like a sad lion. like a mythical lion person, but just tired and old. And so I just went with it. When I'm sketching in my sketchbook, I just go with where my brain is kind of telling me to go, and I don't overanalyze. Because if I overanalyze, then I self-select, and then it's just, none of it's very fun. This is definitely more chaotic drawing, prompt card stuff. I don't remember what all of the prompts were because I didn't write them down. But I wanted to play with like an angular dragon. And man, I didn't go back to actually draw a full version of this. I just really like the shape, and I probably should go back to it. Here we did a day over on my Wednesday workshops where I selected the most popular man in the world, Vincent Price, and we chose a bunch of images of him, or I chose a bunch of images of him from when he was quite young to when he was quite old. So these are images of Vincent Price. This was a Freaky Friday that I hosted with Lee. This was a potpourri, like a Pinterest potpourri. I had so much fun drawing on these. I love drawing in color pencil, especially on smooth paper. So we found a bunch of different images from Lee's Pinterest where we could just like really sink our teeth in. There was just something about these sketches though that were so smooth and just easy. I don't know. There's something about a color pencil that just unlocks creativity in me. And then every so often I would just morph things into my own style and personality, which was really fun. This was the last of that particular image, and I think this was a statue that we found that I was trying to do something with. Not every piece gets finished, obviously, but they all sort of add up and they lead to the next drawing or some conclusion that I can make to get to the next drawing. But yeah, overall, this is a big sketchbook full of drawings, and I was really happy to go through this one. I have a whole bunch more sketchbook reviews coming up. If you're interested in that, you should do all the things, press the buttons to get notified and all that sort of stuff. Otherwise, we'll see you soon.